Time for tonight's worst persons in the world. I thought we were going to play the tape again. The Bronze detectives in Hampshire in England who are defending what they call an e-fit of a man suspected of breaking into a home and stealing 60 pounds. That's British money, in case you didn't know. We would call it a computer rendering, obviously. The police have issued this picture of a man they wish to interview. A constable admitted, quote, "We are currently experiencing technical problems with the quality of the hair and are waiting for an upgrade of the system from the company who provides us with the software. It is important to point out that the suspect in this case is described as having blonde gray hair. While the hair on this image may not be of the best quality, it takes nothing from the overall clarity of the facial features. It would therefore be wrong to withhold the release of the e-fit just based on this technical issue." Meanwhile, our friend comedian Bruce McCullough of the Kids in the Hall says he can account for his whereabouts at the time of his robbery, saying he was busy trying to get a mercy. Well, I can't read the rest of that. Runners-up Steve Doocey and the journalistic con men over at Fox and Fiends. Yesterday on CNBC, the president was asked if he could compromise and give tax cuts to the rich, but only the rich making less than $1 million a year. This is how President Obama replied.
I can't give tax cuts to the top 2% of Americans. 86% of that money going to people making $1 million or more, and lower the deficit at the same time. I don't have the math.
It might not be a universally popular answer, but there's logic to it. Tax cuts and deficit reduction are largely mutually exclusive. But on Fox, as usual, you didn't hear the president's reasoning. You only heard this.
President Obama still refuses to budge on extending the Bush-era tax cuts for the most successful people in America and small business owners as well.
It is an irresponsible thing for us to do. I can't give tax cuts to the top 2% of Americans.
Why not? That's what our next guest wants to know.
Thanks to the selective editing you just saw, the explanation that you can't cut taxes for the rich and reduce the deficit was never discussed. The word deficit was never even mentioned. And that's why, if dishonest editing were a crime, Fox would be broadcasting 24 hours a day from Leavenworth. But our winner, the GOP's candidate for the governor of Wisconsin, Scott Walker. His campaign, in which he donned boxing gloves in one commercial, even though his opponent was savagely beaten last year, it has been a joy for the rest of us. And now he's added to our joy. Mr. Walker has issued a 68-page jobs plan. Here is page 1. The logo, the headline, and the words, one of the keys to the... Yep, the whole thing's in like 36-point type. A later page has exactly 13 words on it. We must lower the heavy tax burden that prevents businesses from investing in... That's right. You could read Scott Walker's entire 68-page jobs proposal aloud in about 4.5 minutes. Actually, less. I forgot page 55, which consists entirely of invest in infrastructure in bold type. And I shouldn't have counted the 3 half-page photos. But he's got a 68-page jobs plan. You know a really good jobs plan? Print the state budget like that. Think of all the new forklift operators and hernia surgeons you'd need. Scott Walker, Republican candidate for governor of Wisconsin. At least you can see his crap from a mile away. Today's worst person in the world. I can see for miles.